Let's go. 10 seconds to kick off. I'm looking down the field trying to figure out who I'ma pick on. Right here, right now is the time and the place, and I'ma put his helmet to the other side of his face. The game's underway. In this smash mouth football, we come to play. So pad up if you wantin' to fight. It's Friday night, game tight, and we under the lights. Let's go.
Under the Lights, presented by Rush Personnel.
It's week 3 of high school football, and we have all the action on Under the Lights. I'm Jenna Fink.
And I'm Ryan Ketchum. A lot of dominant showings tonight, Jenna, in our area. Some teams winning by 30 and even 40 points.
They certainly brought the heat, Ryan, and not just because it was over 100 degrees out there. Let's kick things off with our Game of the Week.
It's time for Action News Now, Game of the Week.
The home opener for Pleasant Valley, the Vikings hosting Las Plumas. Fans had to wait an extra hour for kickoff due to the extreme heat, but it was well worth it. First play of the game, it's a trick play from PV. That isn't quarterback Hayden Rick, it's Joshua Butita. A perfect ball to Bryson Snelling, and he takes it 63 yards to put PV up 7-0. Las Plumas marching down the field looking to answer. Quarterback Drake Sahagan connects with Hargis Billios for 25 yards. But now it's 4th down and Sahagan runs out of time. He is bulldozed by Gavin Garrettson, so PV takes over. But the Thunderbirds get classic revenge. A strip sack and Alex Mix recovers, but then Las Plumas fumbles it right back. This time the Vikings hang on to it for good. Parker Williams cuts outside, finds a hole, and doesn't look back. PV leads 14-0 at this point, and the Vikings controlled this one from start to finish. They stormed past the Thunderbirds 48-0, the final. PV now 3-0 to start the season for the first time since 2015. Las Plumas drops to 0-2.
And now off to Orrville. Orrville played its first home game too and looking for a win against Durham. This would be their first win of the season. First quarter. Durham quarterback Ryan Doyle rolling out and taking himself on the near sideline, showing off the wheels, untouched. That's the first touchdown of the game, up 6-0. Blocked PAT, but Orrville trying to answer back. A must snap over Kirk Roberts' head for a safety. Now up 8-0 for Durham, and Orrville struggled in this one. Still in the first quarter, Durham's defense was right there tonight. DN Perry Phillips coming up with the big sack. Trojans marching forward. Andrew King carrying defenders into the end zone. That puts them up 15-0 in the second quarter, and it was all Trojans after that. Perry Phillips back again on offense, scoring a rushing touchdown on the far sideline, up 21-0 halfway through the second quarter, and Durham continued to take their lead in the second half, winning this one 49-6, remaining undefeated, and Orrville still without a win.
Big win for Durham, and the buzz surrounding Enterprise football is growing too, for good reason. The Hornets averaged 51 points in their first 2 games, and the defense had 8 total sacks. Enterprise looked to continue that against Wairika on its brand new turf field. Players fired up, and quarterback J.J. Johnson makes a statement early on. The sophomore finds a gap and makes his move. He is running all over the field, and no one can catch him. That's a 60-yard touchdown run that puts Enterprise up 7-0. And there's plenty more where that came from. Senior receiver Elijah Goss with the punt return. There he goes. It looks like he may go down at one point, but psych, he spins out of it, then cuts across the entire field, takes it to the house. 20-0 Hornets. Still the first quarter now. Johnson lets one fly down to Goss again. He makes the catch in double coverage and somehow stays on his feet. Does a little dance with the defenders, but he's come so far, he is not going down now. He forces his way into the end zone for another touchdown. The Hornets absolutely dominate in their home opener, 61-6, the final over Wairika. Enterprise advances to 3-0. Wairika falls below 500 to 1-2. Now here's a first look at the scoreboards for week 3. Portola beat Maxwell 53-20. The Tigers now 3-0 this season. And Hamilton lost its first game of the season to Esparto in blowout fashion, 35-0 the final. Hamilton drops to 2-1.
And the first ever meeting between Reading Christian and Fall River. The reigning state champion Bulldogs dominated in this one, 30-0 after losing a tough one last week. Foothill also bounces back against Lassen, winning 28-7. UPrep football had its biggest test of the season against Red Bluff. We'll have the highlights straight ahead on Under the Lights.
Plus, Corning hosted Central Valley, both teams searching for their first win of the year. Find out who came out on top.
It's time for Action News Now Cheer of the Week.
But first, here's a look at tonight's Cheerleaders of the Week from Enterprise High School. They certainly had a lot to cheer about tonight.